So what would be the good qualities of either a Twitter feed or a Facebook page for a news organization that's beyond just, I think you wrote headlines and these are the stories or this is the video that's coming? And how would you, I mean, you talked a little bit about interactivity, you talked a little bit about bringing out personalities that people are actually posting.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that though? I mean, how do you choose what to tweet about or post on the page? How do you?
I think it's really a gut instinct. Just think about, just surf around your site, and the stuff that you click on and read is probably the same stuff that everyone else is going to want to click on and read. Especially if it's something that just affects everyone. Health issues and traffic issues and weather. I mean, this kind of stuff affects everyone, right? Not everyone is interested in politics. Not everyone is interested in, the stock market. But there are a lot of things that people are interested in that would be good to share on, say, your entity. I call it entity, meaning the AL.com account or the, Fox 6 account or whatever. Especially with Facebook. Facebook skews more toward women. The majority of our fan pages are 60+% women. So maybe have a little bit of a female bent when you're Facebooking. They don't like a lot of sad news. They don't really like mass murders on Facebook. Now, if it's huge news, you want to share it, right? But if it's just, some guy got shot and he died, they don't really care, honestly. They care more about what actually is affecting me day to day.
I have a question. I just got the news editor position for the Crimson White next year, and I was wondering, all of this has been giving me an idea. Like, we have a really good, the Crimson White has a Facebook page, but what do you think it would be? We have about 10 or 15 paid reporters. What if I required them to get like a professional kind of page and upload all of their stories, and then they could be, I guess, friends of the Crimson White or somehow affiliated?
Yeah, you can mutually like each other's pages, so to speak.
Is that how it would work?
Yeah, so you could get the main Crimson White page to like all of your reporters, and they'll show up in that list on the left, like on the WKRG page. And now, and then you can actually use Facebook now as a page, so you can switch to the page, and you can be looking at all of your likes that way, and then share it over to your main page. Does that make sense? So you can pass it over, so to speak. So Facebook has actually become a lot more interactive in that way. I think that last update happened just a couple months ago, around the same time that your profiles change, where you have the 5 photos up at the top that people are manipulating and tagging you all weird all the time, right? So Facebook fan pages look the exact same as an account. And sometimes people who aren't as savvy can't even tell the difference. So they might think that they're actually friends with you, but they're actually just fans of you. And that keeps a really good dividing line between your personal life and your journalism life. Does that make sense?
Do people tend to read like a reporter's page more than the news organization page?
I mean, if more would do it.
If they type it in.
Not everyone's doing it yet. WKRG and some of these other TV stations and newspapers that are doing this are sort of on the forefront of this because of Facebook's changes over the past year or so. But I really do advocate that you don't be afraid to brand yourself in that way. That and what's great is that you can be there on your personal account, Facebooking, and then go over to your page and be like, okay, I'm going to share this with everyone, not just my friends and my family. So
That makes sense.
A lot of people that are on Facebook reading news articles, not everyone, but I'd say at least some, kind of just read the headline and get to just like it and move on.
Yeah,
So
that's why you don't want to give away too much.
So if you're making a really strong Facebook page, and I'm asking this from like a statistical standpoint, have you seen traffic to that website slow down a little bit, or have you seen it go up?
It always goes up, no matter what. The thing you don't want to do, though, is give a soliloquy in your little blurb, right? You don't. A lot of people, some of our web editors here in the state are extremely book smart, Ivy League educated, that sort of thing, and they tend to give away the entire story right there. It's 6 lines long. Okay, I've gone to sleep and I've moved on at this point, you know. I really say, you know, when you're typing in a little blurb, you know, to go above your link, keep it no more than 2 lines. Keep it no more than 2 lines of text. That's really, you know, and if it's something that's really awe-inspiring or really funny, then tell people that. Be like, sometimes I'll just put in something that's just really amazing, and I'll just put as a blurb, wow. You don't have to overthink it.
I don't know very much about search engine optimization, but are there any free SEO tools or programs that a student publication could use?
Yeah, Google itself actually. You can search, go to Google and Google hot trends or hot searches, and that'll tell you, it'll take you to the hot trends and hot search page, and it'll tell you what people are talking about, right, or what people are searching for right then. Hot searches is like what they're actually searching. Trends is more looking at the social media aspect of what could become a trend on the search engine soon. So those are a couple of free tools. I'm trying to think what else. Dennis, do you know of anything else they could try?
Twitter also has their trending topics.
Yeah, you can just search on Twitter. You know, back in the early days of Twitter, you couldn't even search Twitter. So that was how hashtags came about.
You can see what the latest celebrity death rumor is.
Yeah. I think it was Jaden Smith last week.
No way.
Like a skiing accident in Switzerland or something.
And for the record, Jackie Chan is okay.
SEO is more of a science. Social media, I think, is more of a gut feeling. You know, SEO, there's all sorts of training you can go through. However, Google and Yahoo and Bing are constantly upgrading their services. Now, social media, what's cool about social media now is that it is being taken into account for search engines. So, if you want your story to be at the top, you need to share it through social media too. It's just part of the process at this point. Anything else?
I'm curious about, if you have a blog that's like branding yourself, how much should be personal and how much should be professional? Because I know on my blog I kind of do both. I have like some personal photos and some more like professional news links. Where do you draw the line and what
I think it's wherever you feel comfortable personally. I think everyone has their own gauge on that. I know some people who are just strictly professional, you know, and you know, they keep all their personal stuff, like maybe only on their Facebook that's totally locked down. But then I know other bloggers who do give away some of their personal life. And me, I guess maybe because I'm female, I like that. I like to see a little bit of a slice of your life. I like to know, you know, if you have kids or a dog, you know. I don't maybe need to know their whole names or where they go to school or anything, but you know, I like to know where you're from, because I think that where you're from is a huge part of you, and you know, how you were raised and that sort of thing. I like to know where you went to college. I'd like to know if I can make fun of your team or not. You know, things like that. You know, things that you feel okay sharing without getting too personal. Now, I mean, don't get on your website and, you know, start raving about how you hate your professor or how you just want to quit your job right now. Don't do that. Don't even do that on your personal social media. Don't. You're just asking for trouble. Find someone to talk to and vent in person, okay? So, and if you do have a little rant here and there, delete it. Just saying. I haven't had a lot of experience in that, but I know some people who have. So.
Yeah, and I know we've had people come in for interviews at AL.com, and you know, I'm not the guy who does the interviews, but I hear the horror stories afterwards of, you know, they gave me this web address as why we should hire them, and I can't believe they had XYZ posted on there. So just, you know, keep in mind the purpose of what that website is for.
Yeah, back when I was getting hired at AL.com, MySpace was real big. And I had a MySpace. I was living in South Florida at the time, and had a MySpace, but I wasn't stupid about it. Like, I didn't put anything on there that I wouldn't let my grandmother see. So, you know, I remember once I was hired, Matt and Brian were like, yeah, we checked out your MySpace. And I'm like, well, okay, there was nothing wrong with it, right? They're like, no, we thought you were cool, you didn't seem crazy or anything. So, you know, know that, you know, potential employers, potential internships, these people will try to find you however they can and see what's up. So,
How do you go about advertising your Facebook page?
oh, promoting it once it's up. Well, for us at AL.com, we've had our entity AL.com page for a few years, and built up the fan base that way. I saved the golf because it got so big so quickly. I'll use it to pimp other pages sometimes. But definitely, you know, you can go grassroots at first. I mean, when you have 0 fans and no one knows about you, first ask, you know, go through your list and share it with people who you think would actually be interested in it. Once you get 25 fans, you can go in and set its own URL and get rid of all the letters and numbers at the end. That's really important because it's a great way to promote it on air or in your paper. So be sure, if you are adminning a page right now that does have a string of numbers at the end, be sure to go into settings and set that username. So that's a great way to promote it once you've set that on air, in print. And also put links to it on your website. A lot of people don't do that. They just start social media and then it just sits there. Well, you have to link it to your website and you know, create a prominent place to feature your social media. Make it obvious where you can go, hey, you know, go to, well, we have al.com/connect, where we have every single social media account associated with al.com and our 3 newspapers, and the reporters and editors who are there, who have accounts. And you can go there and you can follow every single person from there. So create a presence for your social media on your website too. Also, for Twitter, there are several different Twitter directories that you can add yourself to. I think, what is the big one right now? Let me see. WeFollow.com, Twello.com. Those are 2 good ones to list yourself at, and all of your people. And then, you know, from there, especially with Twitter, you know, following people helps. Because once you follow, then you show up on their list as a follower and so forth. A lot of news organizations feel uncomfortable about following people, but if they're, you know, if they're a prominent person in your community, you know, you should probably be following them. If they're a government entity or agency, you should probably be following them. I even advocate following your competitor media, because then you know when they've tweeted something and you don't have it. So, you know, feel free to actually follow people back and don't just have 0 right there. Looks like you don't engage that way. So there's several ways to promote, but it really just takes care and feeding, and following, and, you know, telling people to fan the page. I mean, earlier today we have a page for Golf Live, and we were 10 away from reaching 1,000 fans. Golf Live is a smaller website for Pascagoula. It's not a real big city. And I said, we're 10 away from 1,000. Tell your friends. I mean, sometimes it's as simple as that.